was just about to bring that up.
Imagine you're on a battlefield and you're shooting and you're like, is that?
At times like this, Sonic thought about Amy's fine body because it set his mind at ease.
Betwixt the ruby seas, deep in the eye of the storm, a bastion of beef and hope lies nestled in the sand. 4 men almost lost to the deep now find tranquility within its walls. And now they're inviting you in for a tale unlike anything you've ever heard before.
Welcome to BeefBoys!
With special guest, Christopher Raygun Chandler.
It's me. I've returned.
Please revive me. I have a ray gun. That's me right now.
I can't even tell you how many times I've gotten that exact DM.
Yeah, I bet you love it.
Everyone in the BeefBoys kingdom, please DM that to Chris right now. Stop. Pause the episode.
Yeah.
And please don't. Please don't do that.
No, go ahead. I will not report you to an assassin.
Chris, who should reveal their costume first?
Yeah, Chris.
Oh man. I'm gonna Andrew.
Let's go. He's an alphabetical kind of guy. Andrew,
Fire it off.
This is my shittiest costume yet, but here we go. I am Cranky Kong.
Cranky Kong. He's cranking his fucking Kong.
bro, he's Cranky Kong.
That is the most implied costume I've ever seen. Like, had you not prefaced it with the Donkey Kong rap, there's no way in hell I would have guessed.
Oh, Dumbledore.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Like,
that's why
Gandalf.
I had him do it.
Old man.
old
man
guy.
with
Blackface
dark
Gandalf's
eyes.
here.
yeah, it's like Fauci Gandalf or something.
It's Fauci claws.
What's on your eyes?
It's Cranky's dark little eyes he's got. Which is why it's my shittiest one. The shit we got from Spirit Halloween was like, I think they just picked up mouse shit and was just put it in water, and they're like, yeah, fuck it.
Spirit
sell
Halloween kind of sucks.
Rub feces in your eyes.
I appreciate your restraint to just keeping it to the eyes, though. That's very impressive. Andrew.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get Doplex.
Let's go.
Yo!
Millhouse.
That's pretty good. That's so much effort. God
It was
damn
a lot of effort. I'm like a fanfic of Millhouse, you know, when they like draw him like, here's what he would look like in the future. That's me. I wanna shave
They
my
made
beard.
Millhouse hot.
All right, let's kudos. Go kudos.
Okay, yes. So it wasn't until I sat down that I realized you kind of need to see the full thing to really get it. But whatever, we're gonna roll with it.
You fucking
know?
banana.
Yo, I'm about to eat your ass, Kudos.
See, if I stand up, then you've got the knob. You've got the little knob.
Oh, right.
Oh,
yeah.
right. That does
fucking
add a
cock.
lot, actually.
That sells
Yeah.
the whole thing. Otherwise, you know, I guess like, hold on, I'm just. And okay, and then
Banana.
Kudos, I have to ask, because this is like your third or fourth food-related costume.
yes,
Is that all you guys have there is just food costumes? It's just like a Trader Joe's, but you wear the stuff?
Is the implication that food in Australia is even scary? Like even
Everything is scary.
even the food is haunting enough
Yeah.
to
Ooh,
warrant. Like,
I'm a
yeah.
nanner.
Anyway, that's my costume.
So last year I did a costume where my whole body was green screened out and I was just a floating head. So this year I thought, let's iterate on that. Let's link, let's build. So now I'm only going to have like a nose, a mouth, and eyebrows and hair.
You're Gumby.
And I want to see how that goes over. I want to see how Premiere functions.
You were not
bunch of,
lying
like,
when you said
noise.
Courtney was gonna have a hell of a time with this.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a pain in
We're
the
making our
ass.
editor work for a cash.
That is a sufficiently horrifying costume, though, because I can imagine
It is.
because not as I'm seeing it, but I imagine when this is done.
Exactly.
That is an eldritch fucking thing if I've ever seen.
That's what I'm saying.
You're a spooky specter.
Hey, speaking of spec, Chris, you're from New York.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Make us a pizza.
I remember 9/11. It was crazy.
He is from New York. He's not lying.
I had to jump out of the first floor and it only hurt a little bit.
Jumping out of the first floor of the World Trade Center. Like, I was there. I was there. You know, like I jumped out of the building actually. Like,
Yeah, bro.
but anyway, you were asking.
So recently, an article came out and it said, Manhattan congressional candidate Mike Itkis has shared his own sex tape to highlight his sex-positive platform. Itkis says that simply talking about legalizing sex work wouldn't be enough to show voters that he's committed to the issue. How you voting, bro? Are you dropping it down sexual style on Mike Itkis' campaign?
And where's your
Are you
sex tape
nutting
as
on
well?
his behalf?
That is
Yeah,
funny.
you cranking it out.
That is funny as fuck. Like I really like. There's a lot of. There are so many amusing political figures that have come out of New York. They're not like huge ones, but like I remember like a lot of local politicians being just very strange people. And maybe some people from the tri-state area might know this person. This isn't a political figure, but this was like a presence on cable television. His name was Uncle Magic.
Bruh,
And
I was just
Uncle
about to bring that up.
Magic!
Yeah,
We talked about him.
I'm
talked about Uncle
I'm from New
Magic.
Jersey, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
showed these guys the power of Uncle Magic. We continue. I love Uncle
no,
Magic.
so you know, like this, there are just these people that everybody knows, but no one talks about. And then when people said,
Right.
"Hey, do you guys remember these fucking Uncle Magic fucking commercials?" And everybody's like, "Yeah, that was real." Like it's these things that like everybody
It's
like
beautiful.
everybody thinks it's like a shared. Like until you hear somebody else corroborate it, you're convinced it's like a
Right.
delusion or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, like the Shadow Man.
Like you had a fever as a 4-year-old and you
Yeah.
conjured Uncle Magic.
No, like for the longest time, I thought he was fake until somebody else mentioned him to me. And it's a similar thing happened with, you know that movie, fucking James and the Giant Peach?
Yes.
I thought
Yeah.
that movie. I thought I imagined that movie because the way I described it to people was, do you remember that claymation stop motion movie where Jack Skellington is a pirate?
And there's a weird spider.
And a large stone fruit.
No, but I forgot I forgot the James and the Giant Peach part of that movie. All I remember was a little boy being chased by Jack Skellington, and he was a pirate Jack Skellington, and it was real. But like no one was like, everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I saw James and the Giant Peach by some random happenstance, and that scene came up where that puppet is used. It's the same, because I guess it was like the same production house or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was like, this is it.
You did the Leo DiCaprio thing. You were like,
Yeah, I did. The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Shout out Uncle Magic and Rakim the Clown, bro. Fucking.
Rock him, yes.
I'm Rakim the Clown.
That is such a fucking legendary.
But that marketing was so. I haven't seen that shit since I was like 9, except for once on this podcast a year ago. Guarantee I could go word for word on that shit right now. Like, that was like the most crazy marketing of my entire life. Like, nothing has ever stuck with me like that.
Yeah.
It's like Halo 3 Believe and Uncle Magic.
Yeah.
It's like the most effective marketing
They're
ever.
in the same echelon.
I think I had that exact experience. How sad is that? The human experience is so not special at all. That we had that those are the two like lasting impacts.
Hey, speaking of that, Behind the Scenes was drafted to the South Korean Army.
Oh, yeah.
The Korean pop band Behind the Scenes.
They've
Yeah.
all been drafted to World War III.
They have to go and fight in Iraq on our behalf.
They gotta go find Bin Laden.
But what does that mean? What are you saying? Is this real?
So, K-pop band and collection of beautiful men, BTS, is from the beautiful nation of South Korea, which still has mandatory military service. And being fertile young men that they are, they still have not done their service yet. I guess like they kept putting it off because their careers were going sicko mode. So,
Right.
but
Yeah.
they've like reached the kind of the end point, like, okay, no, you have to fucking do it now, or like go to jail essentially.
So how come Hannah Montana didn't have to go to Desert Storm?
That's
How
what
come
I'm
BTS
saying.
has to fucking go out
Yeah, what
there
the
and
fuck?
look
Why,
for-
why didn't NSYNC go and fucking die, get blown up by IEDs in Iraq? That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
What's insane to me about that is like you'd assume that the government would be like, hey, listen, you're kind of solely funding our country.
Yeah.
We're gonna let you keep BTSing because you would serve no purpose on a fucking battlefield anywhere.
Yeah,
Right.
you'd just be a distraction.
Just go out there and start fucking pop locking.
I think they could get out of it, but it's probably, I think it's only like 2 months or some shit. I would assume it's good for their image to be like, oh, you think I'm just a little pop guy?
I serve my country.
You think I'm just hitting dance moves?
Shit I've seen.
I'm gonna go learn how to crawl in mud, bitch.
Yeah, but clearly that's not that important to them. You know what I mean?
Right,
The thing about it though is like it could be like a really useful, like in the event that there is like a really massive fucking brouhaha, you know, you could potentially have like a really huge asset with BTS fighting because imagine you're on a battlefield and you're shooting and you're like, is that
Is that Jimin?
Is that BTS?
You catch a 50 cal to the dome.
Yeah, that is BTS. And like, bam, it fucking exploded.
Do you reckon there's going to be an influx of people like signing up when the band does in the hopes that they'll like be in the same like regiment or whatever, like just so they can hang out?
100%. Yeah. It's kind of like the modern day Trojan horse. Like if you had BTS leading your squadron, you just have them rock up to North Korea. Everyone starts going crazy, and they just start busting it down sexual style on the border.
They hit the gritty on the DMZ.
Yeah, and then the camera pans out, and fucking 50 nukes fly by, and their hair goes crazy, and North Korea gets wiped off the face.
And it's all a write-off too, because it's for a music video.
I was gonna say it's all for a music video.
They film it all. Yeah.
They write off a fucking war.
What if BTS Jungkook fucking dies in a training exercise because his like squad mate accidentally drops a grenade or something?
He slips and falls.
Gets zoinked.
Chris, you're a man of many opinions.
Give us 6 of them right now.
Ah, jeez, man, you're really putting me into a spot. Man.
Well, I was leading into something else, but if you want to give 6 random opinions, you can.
Nah, man, lead into that other thing.
So, Jack Black hates people with autism.
Sick.
Let's go.
Base.
He really is Shallow Hell.
Let me open this just so you guys can.
If Shallow Hell was a movie about him seeing non-autistic people as autistic, do you think it would have been as?
It would have been more iconic.
They're showing him.
You can see the spectrum. Like the spectrum is like a tangible.
He sees everybody as he sees. I'm not gonna run with this.
Jack Black supports Autism Speaks. Please respect my Silver-Day morning period. Kung Fu Panda is unreasonably important to me. He might not know Autism Speaks is a horrible organization, which is like you've defeated your own argument right there. But the only way you do not know is by actively ignoring autistic people and decades of organizing against AS and similar organizations. Best case scenario, he just doesn't care about autistic people. Now, just to give you my interpretation, so we can jump off that. I would say the best case scenario is he just wanted to. Someone came to him and said, "Hey, do you want to do a benefit for autistic people?" And he was like, "Yes." And then all of the other stuff was up to his 57 agents and stuff.
Oh yeah,
that's my best case scenario. 100%. But I want to know your guys.
No, that's a
wait. So he donated money? Is that the problem? He donated money to.
He did a fundraiser for them. Like he was in a media thing with them.
He's like, I want to know what it says. Get it? Autism Speaks.
I think it is important for people to like when they support a thing to know what it is they're talking about. But at the same time, I'm not gonna necessarily like. There's so many charities that are probably bullshit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like it bothers me because like I remember like a long time ago. I had a thing where like I donated some stuff or donated money or like I can't remember like what the fuck it was like a long time ago. It was when I had no money to donate, like unreasonably.
Yeah.
And I supported this. I think it was like Wounded Warriors or something. It was like for veterans, because like I just personally think veterans are like really fucked over, especially in America. So I remember being like, oh yeah, that seems like a safe one. You know who doesn't want. You know, who wants veterans puking and dying?
It seems like a surefire thing.
Yeah, it seems like a safe. It seems like a safe fucking thing. And then it's like, oh yeah, we spent 90% of that money on fucking parties or whatever. And it's like, and it's cool. Like now everything is just fucked. So I don't know. I don't blame him necessarily. Also, to be frank with you, I have never heard anybody talk about. Look, I know many autistic people. None of them have mentioned Autism Speaks.
Well, that's the thing.
Right.
I haven't heard of it either. Yeah.
I have a severely autistic cousin, and I love him to death. He's like 30-something years old, and he's still pretty low functioning. Like, he kind of needs help with almost everything that he does.
Ultra
and my
instinct.
aunt obviously has, and I asked my aunt, who's been like,
Are you faking it?
no. I asked my aunt, like, she was literally like a special ed teacher and stuff, and like. She's like, I have no idea what Autism Speaks is. So it's like, how is Jack Black gonna know what? Someone came to him and said, hey, you want to fundraise for the fucking autistic kids?
Yeah. It's not
and he said, sure.
It's not like the entire rest of the cast of School of Rock was like, hey, guess what? You know,
Bastard.
you know, like you're not gonna know that shit. I only heard about it through like the nichest fucking, like it might have been like a footnote in some random essay I was listening to, you know, like just some random bullshit that had nothing. I wasn't even watching anything about Autism Speaks, and it just showed up, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting. No way Jack Black has seen that video.
No, exactly. I think it's totally fair to be like, yo, Autism Speaks sucks. They're like, they steal all the money.
Yeah, like, they electroshock autistic people into not counting.
They shock them back to fucking reality.
Jack Black was personally shocking them.
Guess how many candies are in the jar? Damn it, correct. Damn it.
Hit him.
Do you like Sonic the Hedgehog?
Well, before we move on, let's just read. So, artistic replied and said, doesn't surprise me at all. His lines in Kung Fu Panda, especially in the show, are often along. This is just like the calling card of Twitter these days. His lines are transphobic, classist, ableist, and weird gatekeeping. Even though his character is so heavily ADHD coded, he might as well be canonically ADHD. I love Kung Fu Panda.
Bowser?
No, they're talking about Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda,
Dude,
my favorite scene from Kung Fu Panda is when he looks at the camera and goes, "Fuck trans people," and then like does the Sudoku.
He goes, "Fuck trans people, fuck poor people, fuck people with handicaps. I'm gonna gatekeep your mom, and I have ADHD."
Skadoosh.
Fuck all of these people, and also, what was I doing?
Wait, so they're saying that Kung Fu Panda is all of those things?
Well, they're saying the lines are, and the lines that Jack knowingly delivered were, but also Kung Fu Panda is obviously just an ADHD neurodivergent.
Yeah,
so
it's an allegory for ADHD.
Right, it's a stimming film.
And I just think there's, like, either way, if you're caring this much, like, whether you care that he is or isn't or who donates or what, like, you're kind of just being, like, silly. But stop imparting, like, all of this. Bro, Kung Fu Panda is just a panda. He just speaks.
He knows Kung Fu.
He's not ADHD coded. Like, he might be. That if you interpret it that way, that's beautiful, bro. That's gorgeous. That's fucking epic. But also,
this
no one
teacher would be
cares.
proud.
I don't think they were really thinking about.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't like.
How much Adderall do you think?
What's his
How many milligrams does Kung Fu Panda take in a
They
day?
have a character sheet with his attention span on it, and they're like, well, let's bring this all the way down.
There's that whole dramatic scene in the middle of the first one where he's talking to, I don't know, I haven't seen this movie, but like, so he's talking to his fucking, I don't know, best friend or something. He's like, oh man, I want to take the meds, but I'm scared they'll change my personality and I won't recognize myself. And it's like,
I don't want to take the normal pills.
Yeah.
That's what the mask is.
He reads the doctor's note, says you are not normal.
I'm failing all my classes, including the Kung Fu one.
Master Roshi is so angry with me.
Master Roshi. That's awesome.
Dream is Kung Fu Panda.
He just goes into the booth and does this grin over and
That'd
over.
be iconic.
Always has been.
You brought up Dream earlier, but it was when James was stuck in the Nether Realm. But so you've never watched a single second of Dream's beautiful content?
I don't know what it. I've only heard that Mask song because it was so damn funny.
Because it's such a banger.
Have
you heard the sus version?
That shit's fire as shit.
That's what the mask is.
Sorry, I didn't mean for it to be that loud.
I think my main exposure to him was just his Twitter, because I watched some of one of his videos and I was like,
Yeah.
Basically, he's a Minecraft streamer who creates these parasocial relationships with these 12 to 14-year-old girls.
Yeah, that's a
These
you just described Minecraft streamers.
I think
Right,
it's like
exactly.
your
So
content.
imagine a Minecraft streamer. Imagine a Minecraft streamer, And that's it. That's
Chris, can I ask you a question?
No.
Okay. As someone who's been in the public eye for a long time, well, you are, but I feel like if you just don't respond at all or are just indifferent to any of the criticism that comes to you, no matter what you did, how it could be, you could have blown up an orphanage. As long as you don't even show a semblance of wanting to apologize or feel bad about it, no one can touch you. Like, you're invincible. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's somewhat true. I think the main thing is just, I don't know, whenever something crazy comes out about like this Try Guy shit is so damn funny to me. Because for some reason, everybody in the world pretended to know who these people were. It's like they were calling them on a first name basis. Like, oh, fucking, I don't know their names still. But like, I was like, oh,
SNL?
Eric.
Yeah, like, oh my God, Eric looks so mad. I'm like, who?
Who's Eric?
Who the fuck is Eric?
it may as well be like
tried a banana on camera
And
once.
they had like this whole thing where like they did this video. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's the three of them sitting there and like
they look like they just got like their mum just got hit by a car.
that was the first thing I had seen from the video because I don't know, I just don't give a shit anymore. But like that was the first thing I saw on my Twitter feed. It was like I saw that video and I was like, oh, what happened with these people who are apparently known? And the way they were talking about it, I thought like, oh my God, one of these guys was like a pedophile who like ate children and crucified a dog to the Statue of Liberty or something. Like some wild. The impression that I got was villainous. And then what it was is like, he had an affair in the fucking office. And I was like, bro,
like come on.
if I really need everybody to just think for a moment about how many affairs are happening in offices. Probably like one of those people. Probably one of those people in that video is doing that too. So
that's why they look so distraught.
That's why they look so scared. It's like, oh my God, am I next?
Oh shit!
I could be
But they're
next.
just trying it.
Yeah, and it's not to say that it doesn't make it like okay. Like obviously it's like it's a shitty thing to do, but like that video was so dramatic. It's like our trauma. It's like your trauma. What?
Yeah. What about her trauma?
What about the guy's wife?
Yeah.
The guy's wife who got cheated on.
You literally. I don't know, man. I could not take that shit seriously even slightly.
Well, I didn't
especially because they're the Try Guys. He
was
tried
trying to-
adultery, like big fucking deal. You could have turned this into content, but you didn't. Instead,
trying adultery.
Blown opportunity.
That would have been
Could've made
the funniest video if they just made a whole piss take where they like forced.
It would have been
like,
incredibly.
that's like
it
his
would have been-
penance.
It would have been incredibly mean-spirited, but like how I would handle it is like if let's say like because I'm on the Snark Tank or whatever.
Shout out Snark Tank.
Go subscribe.
If that happened with Sweeney or whatever, I'd be like, damn, that's shitty. We're gonna keep doing the show though, and we're gonna make fun of you every episode about it.
Yeah, exactly. How good is that?
Like at the end of every episode, we'll just be like, and just to remind everybody, this guy did this. And
He
we'd
had an
make
affair?
a whole fucking thing. It would like that. This is a whole tangent, but like as far as just remaining as apathetic as possible, I think it does work because who's gonna expect like. It's kind of like what's that comedian Anthony Jelesnik or whatever the fuck? Like no one's gonna
Jesselnick.
I always pronounce his fucking name wrong. But
Jizzle
no one's expecting that guy to be a great person.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, because he's built this
Yeah.
image. So even if something really shitty happens, and obviously there's like a line. Obviously you can't come back from like fucking being a pedophile or like a rapist.
Right.
But
EDP
but like within
kinda
reason.
did.
Who?
A pedophile.
EDP kind of did.
I think
just
even then, like, you might be able to. Like, I don't know. Not EDP as an example,
You gotta
but
be
like,
real good.
you know,
you have to
Quentin
be
Tarantino still sucks the cock of Roman Polanski, and that
Yeah,
man married
was-
like his daughter.
Yeah,
He had to flee the country.
That's
but
true. That's true, but he didn't do that though.
That's
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he just kind of
And
went.
also-
No, I'm not saying Quentin Tarantino should be.
also he made Inglourious Bastards.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not saying
exactly
Quentin
so.
Tarantino should be. I'm just saying, like, Roman Polanski still has the support of like one of the quintessential directors of
that's fair.
film.
Well,
That is
just
true.
a lot of
Yeah.
Hollywood in
Dude,
general.
no.
But
Quentin Tarantino
what
does
I'm
some fuck shit, but he
but-
makes good movies. I don't
But
give a
what,
fuck.
but what I'm saying is like
You
that's
suck
not
on
as bad
toes.
as doing something. Like
Yeah,
simply
right.
being like vaguely supportive or like even in some way just kind of like being like I'm just not gonna talk on it in like a supportive way. That's not nearly as bad as like doing the thing. So like to me it's
Right.
like I don't care like what opinion fucking I don't know who's like a big artist right now. I'm so
Uncle Magic.
Lil Bow Wow.
Yeah, Lil Bow Wow popping again.
Bow Wow.
It's time for the
Like Mike
Romeo
2,
show.
finally coming.
Like Mike 2 did happen. It would be like Mike 3.
I do
yeah,
feel like
that's
the way
right.
people
Oh,
handle.
shit.
I do feel like the way people handle certain big things is like really dumb though, because especially if the people are innocent. Because like
Yeah.
for me, it's like the longer you go without saying anything, the more suspicious I am, and then you come out with like a statement. That's weird.
Yeah.
To me, it's like if anything came out like weird, like that about me or whatever, I'd be like, lol, what's this? You know, like
Yeah.
I'd retweet. It's like, are you fucking kidding? Like, if you don't respond that way, I'm immediately suspicious. Like, that's probably not fair
Yeah.
because I'm sure there's probably like a bunch of shit. It's like I gotta talk to a lawyer. I get it, but like at the same
Yeah.
time, I don't know. You gotta
I just
do
Yeah.
something.
It's not even suspicion to be. It is suspicion in a sense, but it's also just like if you vehemently like apologize for something that you did, like it'll never be enough for the people that are angry, and the people that didn't give a shit now give a shit because you walked it back. So
Right.
like you take the L no matter what. If it's something super serious, like something illegal, like you're kind of cooked.
Yeah, like
But,
if you microwaved
you
a
just-
baby in Iraq or something.
Yeah, like that would be fun.
BTS allegations come out in 3 years.
Yeah, if you're BTS and you launched a couple nukes on North Korea, I mean,
Have
you know, the people
seen
didn't
this
deserve
video?
it. It's
Have
not
you guys
his fault.
seen? Have you guys seen this video on Live Leak of the entirety of BTS microwaving a baby in
Microwaving a North
Baghdad?
Korean baby, yeah.
They said it was part of their training, but it's nowhere in the South Korean handbook does it say.
That reminds me. That reminds me
Imagine
of.
if it did say that in the
That
handbook.
reminds me of one of my favorite genre of image macro, of like photoshopped like meme
Yeah.
headlines. Is
Yeah.
anytime like a widely beloved fictional character is found dead in a really mundane place.
Yeah.
Like Gumby found asphyxiated in Tucson, Arizona or something. It's
Yeah.
like, that shit it's
Wallace and Gromit.
yeah.
Found dead from autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, in like Elizabeth, New Jersey. Like it's always like a really bland place.
Hey, that's where I'm from.
Are you really from Elizabeth?
I'm from Woodbridge, which is like Elizabeth is where I would go for like I camped out for MW2 midnight release there, Halo 3 midnight release there, so kind of, but not really.
Can I ask you something about Elizabeth?
Yes.
Is it always that way?
Yes.
Okay.
Elizabeth is mostly smokestack factories.
It is
like
it
is fucking nasty as shit.
It's a Sopranos intro sequence.
It looks
Yeah.
like Elizabeth, New Jersey looks like an abandoned city in a Fallout game from like far
It
away.
does.
Like
It 100% does.
I remember driving. Because we were driving. My family was driving down to like I think Florida or something. It was like a long ass drive. And we were going through
Yeah.
Elizabeth,
1
and
and 9
that was
takes you through
and it
there.
was like smoke in the sky. And I remember looking at the sky and seeing lightning, and the lightning
dragon.
was red.
That's all the
You're just going through Mordor.
Is this how?
Yeah.
I have
The Eye of
still.
Sauron.
So
Yeah,
Chris,
like,
down
I
on
see
the freeway.
Sauron in the distance.
My high school recently has come under investigation for
Furious.
there are 90 something people in the last 20 years who have got this extremely rare form of brain cancer that like is incurable and like brutally kills you. And
Jesus.
it's the investigation found that it's most likely linked to all the toxins that come from the
Yeah, no
Elizabeth
shit.
power plants. And like that shit is giving you brain aids and also turning the
It's like The
electricity in the sky fucking purple.
Fucking live in Springfield.
Yeah, like straight up,
plant.
Homer brought home the
cartoonishly
uranium by
green.
accident. Like,
Everybody's
fucking-
eating
it's
fucking glow
cooked.
sticks.
it's good.
Merge, the school gave me brain cancer.
I still to this day have never in my fucking life seen red lightning ever. Like just that not since
That is like some cartoon
not
shit.
since, not before. That was what I was thinking. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, they got the brute upgrade.
I did not know that was possible
Yeah.
at all.
Maybe
It's like those
please
videos
drive
of like
faster.
it's like those videos of the you ever see those balls of lightning? Those
Yeah.
videos of it's like
Balls
it's
of lightning.
yeah, it's I
Balls?
can't remember
I
what they're
wish.
called. I'm sure if you Google balls of lightning, you'll see it. It's like a natural
Yeah.
phenomenon or whatever. But like
Yeah.
that would fuck me to death if I saw that. Like, if I saw that, I would immediately. I'm not religious, but I'd find something.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I'd find God.
Have you
Yeah.
guys
Ask
have you guys
him
ever seen
why.
dry lightning before? I think it's called dry lightning, or
Yeah, we have a lot of that
What
in
the
Florida.
fuck?
or it's
Could
called
that
fire in the
possibly
sky. It's
What is
because
As
Dry
opposed
lightning.
to wet lightning.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
usually
Well, it's just
lightning
lightning
happens
that
with a
it's-
storm, right? But like
Yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes
Oh,
it can
right.
happen when it's completely dry and it's just some
Dry
wacky shit
lightning.
with like
No, yeah, we get that like 2 or 3 times a week in Florida.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
heat
so
lightning.
weird.
I live in California, so we definitely get weird fucking weather. Like
yeah, we
that,
get
where
it.
it's
Yeah.
just
Oh,
like-
yeah. Okay, libtard. Yeah, keep
no, I'm
bringing
just
it
saying.
up.
Sometimes it will be like fucking 90 degrees out, sunny as shit, but also drizzling and also lightning out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Like fucking somebody's just hitting the switchers on the sky.
It's God punishing you for being in
One
California.
time I was driving in New Jersey, and on one side of the parkway it was sunny, and on the other side of the parkway it was fucking pouring rain.
Disgusting.
It was insane. It was fucking
Split in
crazy.
half.
That was
It's a
that's like when I drove to LA. When I moved to LA, because I drove from New York to LA. It was a horrible.
Bruh.
You
Bruh.
I feel that.
Just
Yeah,
go
I
east or
Drove from
west.
Virginia
We
to
drove-
Alaska.
Well, we went west because we're
Okay.
driving to Los Angeles.
Right.
Oh, I don't know. You
But-
might have taken the long route.
The long,
We went
fucking-
east.
That'd be wild.
You
I
went to
took a
Maine
boat.
and
I
then
took a boat
LA.
to Europe.
Yeah.
No,
We're going the scenic route.
no, but we drove through like Kansas or something, and Kansas
Kansas is awful.
was where I thought I was going to die. Like I really thought, like because we passed by. I'll never forget it. We were driving by. It was me and my roommate at the time. We made it there in like 3 days. We had no money. Like I drove to LA. I moved to LA
shout
with like
out.
I think I had $200, I think. And
That's
God damn.
crazy.
and we drove to Los Angeles.
And now he
And
has 300.
We're in now. I have $302.
yes.
Thank you, Susan.
Yeah, thanks, bitch. But I think we ended up in Kansas, and it was like super dark, and we were driving, and I remember I'll never forget it. We passed a billboard for some small business, something, then
Walmart.
like a dilapidated barn, and then a strip mall. And then nothing for miles, and then nothing,
Kansas
and then
is
nothing
so
for
It's
that's
like a
not
fucking Tony Hawk
No.
Pro Skater creative part.
no, but then nothing
Putting
for
shit
miles,
down.
and then like I think 20 minutes later, billboard, dilapidated barn, strip mall. And I remember being like, what the fuck is going on?
no.
And then it happened again like 3 more times, and it fucked
Bruh.
me up because I was like, are we going in circles?
crazy.
We've been going in a line.
You're
It's
going
a
down a
line.
procedurally generated
Yeah.
street.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
same-
you
Or
found
like
a
in
Bethesda
cartoons when you got the
fucking
fucking.
it was
Or like in cartoons when they run fast.
It
and
was.
just
It was
like-
crazy. It was like
Yeah, yeah.
halfway. It was halfway through the trip, so we're both like delirious. We're not eating well. We're surviving off of like Little
Right.
Bites muffins and Red Bull. It's not a good.
Yeah.
It's not a good diet. And
Yeah, not a good day.
and
at
then
all.
I'm feeling like we keep passing the same place, but we can't be. So I need medicine or something. It was such a scare. We got rammed.
Doctor.
We got
I need Dayquil.
we got almost rammed off the
neurodivergent.
road too.
Bruh.
By some truck driver. We hit this intense fog that like we couldn't see even like I think 3 inches in front of us, and I was like, I gotta stop. I gotta stop. I remember like talking to my friend. I was like, I gotta stop the car. I can't. This is terrifying. And he was like, Nah, keep going, man. It's fine. And then we get out of the fog, and then I think maybe like a second or two later, headlights from behind us. There was this massive truck behind us the whole time that we didn't see because it was that fucking
That's some
foggy.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit.
And he was
They're gonna
it was
run you off the
terrifying.
The truck was tiptoeing.
Kansas?
He just
somehow.
he spawned you in.
I cannot abide by Kansas. Whatever the fuck is
No,
going on. in
Kansas
Kansas.
is
We
fucking
could get
awful.
rid of Kansas. Honestly, like if we could all take like a unanimous vote and just get rid of a state.
Let's cut it off and push it out to sea.
It's the same all the way up,
Yeah.
but dude, the same exact thing happened last year when I moved back up here to Alaska because we drove, and So we get to the border at Saskatchewan, and if you don't know, if you've never been to Saskatchewan, it is basically Kansas but bigger.
Kansas.
Nothing.
Saskatchewan.
Like there's not even like trees.
It's fucking Wumbo,
It's just
Kansas.
nothing.
That's wild.
But farm, like, and the time of year we went, they had like gotten all the corn and shit out, so it was just flat.
Bring out the corn,
You can't
boys.
see the horizon. Like it's just a line, and every probably 30 minutes you would see this big grain barn thing that like comes out over the road where I guess they park like the trucks to get all the corn in.
Yeah.
And that would be it. It would be like, what? And it'd be like, oh, there's one. And then 30 minutes later, we'd see another one coming up, and I was like, that's kind of, I guess it's just another one. And we kept going. And by the third or fourth one, I was radioing, because we had little walkie-talkies to our friend Jared, who was driving behind us. I was like, are we somehow going in a circle? We've been driving straight, right? And he was like, I'm about to lose my mind,
Yeah,
man.
it's like
this is
Frodo
fucking
and Sam at the
terrifying.
start of the Two Towers. Like,
It's exactly what it was like. It's horrifying.
I smelt this corn.
It's
Saskatchewan is a unique boredom.
Yeah, it's wild
crazy.
how much of this planet is just reused assets.
copy and
It's really shocking.
Shout out.
Because I don't know, growing up in like a city where like typically every street is identifiable in some way. Like there's not a lot of like there's like maybe there might be like repeating businesses or whatever, like chains, but I know what this street looks like versus that street. I know, There's like distinctness. When I drove through Kansas, I was like, wow, I could never in a million years live around here.
I drove to Florida from New Jersey, and like South Carolina was like kind of the same thing where it was, I'm trying to get out of here. This place fucking sucks. South Carolina was the same where it was just like flat 2-lane highway, and like if you tried to pass someone, they'd fucking like pull out a fucking dirty bomb and like blow you up because like you hurt their ego.
The thumb from Spy Kids.
Yeah. But like it was that blew my mind because I grew up in New Jersey. I've been to Florida and fucking Canada on like a cruise. Like I rarely left, and like New Jersey is I could go from Woodbridge, which is fairly suburban, to Irvington, which is like straight up. I saw somebody go the wrong way down a one-way, crash into a car, and then jump out and shoot someone in Irvington. It was fucking crazy. But then you can go 30 minutes
did
south.
a couple hops and then spawned jetpack.
But you can go 30 minutes south to Brick, and you're in like these people are in New Jersey, but they're driving around with Confederate flags on their shitty pickup trucks. But that's like 10 minutes you're in another fucking like video game, right? But like then you go to Kansas and it's like it's just No Man's Sky at launch with just procedural generated. Like it makes no sense to me. Like the Northeast is so fucking like the Northeast has so much packed into it, and then you go to the middle of the country and it's like nothing makes sense. Like it's just like
it's wild.
It's all the same.
It really is a staggering experience. And maybe it's probably the same thing in reverse. Like if you're from Kansas or whatever, you end up in like, New York.
Definitely.
And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Why is everything different all the time? This is terrifying.
I don't like this. I need to numb my brain. The closest I've had is New Zealand's like because it's so hilly and small and island-esque. It's like there's very few parts which are just like there are a few, but for the most part, it's like, oh, this is an interesting, weaving road that opens up into another cool ass valley. But then in Australia, if you go like WA, especially West Australia, it's like the speed limit's like 110, 120 Ks. I don't know what that is in miles. Figure it out. But it's just one long road down a red desert with the only landmark is just like bushes. And it's just that for
yes, the bush.
10 hours straight.
The dropping.
And for some reason, my dad loves going on those to the point that last time I visited, I said, Dad, I know you love going on the road trips, but can we please not fucking do one? Because I don't want to sit and look at red desert for 10 hours just to end up in some place in the bumfuck nowhere.
No, son, this is epic.
Son, you'll understand one day.
Each bush has a story.
Hey, I pitched in that bush in 1987.
It's a Todd Howard quote.
Speaking of bushes, speaking of Todd
George.
Howard, let me transition this. Speaking of Todd Howard, speaking of video games, speaking of Halo, Chris, you made a video about Halo recently.
I did.
Halo was the most important thing in my life. I like that video a lot.
Thanks.
I want
It was
to
a
know
great
what
video.
you think the future of Halo is, because to me, I
Halo
think
Wars
Halo
3.
Infinite. I actually really liked, because this is something I've thought also, and I did not expect it to be parroted back to me in that video. But the idea of fully unlaunching the game and fucking working on it, and then trying to come back and like really make an impact in like the fragmented gaming sphere is I think that is the way forward as well. But to me, the future of Halo at this point is it's because Forge is amazing, and I think it's gonna end up being like Gary's mod future. Like it's gonna, like, if custom games launch as well with like a browser and everything and a file share, and Forge is epic, I think it could be like the future of party game PC experience. But I want to know what you think the future of Halo is, because I really thought that video was really interesting. And if let's say they don't do what you said they should, what do you think? You know, Forge launches in March. What do you think the future of the series is, or of Infinite at the least?
I think if they don't listen to me, they're dead. They're fucked. I just like,
fair.
and it's not in like a catastrophic way, but in the sense that like I don't know. I'm already kind of at a point where I'm fully aware that nothing is going to hit like Halo 3 again. That was a very specific point in time. It was insane. It came at like the perfect point of like the internet was still kind of. It was mature enough to be robust, but still kind of immature enough to not have such a baked. Like social media was still in its infancy, right? So like you had it came at a very, very unique time, and that's
the ingenuity really meant something at that moment too. Like the file share and the custom like for console gaming, that was mind blowing.
Yeah,
in 2007.
Halo 3 like game chat was like Facebook for me. You know what I mean? Like it was a social media site. It was where I would go to hang out with my friends. We would fuck around. We would make stupid shit in like Forge or whatever. We would like take.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember do you remember those like screenshots of like people would line up weapons to make hentai or whatever?
I do remember that.
It was just like they would draw hentai with like weapons and like physics objects,
awesome.
and then just
There
like
are
zoom
so
out.
many
real quick.
iconic
It was so fucking funny.
screen grabs.
But like. It was like its own pocket of the internet, really. And that's not something that's possible really anymore. And if it is, I don't think it's really going to hit as hard because, even things like Discord has killed party chat.
You're spitting facts.
I
But
realized,
also Halo killed that.
what you said before, real quick, about like the fact that was your social media. That's like what so much like, say, early MMOs were, is that it was just.
Totally.
Fuck yeah.
It was just a way to hang out with people. Like EverQuest, I've been researching that for a video. Kind of sucks as a game, but it was kind of more just a chat room that had some shit you could do in the background. And I really noticed what you said when I tried to introduce my brother to WoW, the same way a dealer tries to introduce someone to crack cocaine. I bought him word of my brother's 14 years younger than me, so he's quite a lot younger. And I was like, oh fuck, I'll introduce him. This could be something that we could like play together or whatever. And he just didn't really take to it, and I kind of realized like, oh well, of course he doesn't. Like, he's fucking 14 years younger. The novelty of a virtual world that's always online is nothing to
just open Twitter by accident for the 7th time.
Yeah, but this is anyone these days. Like, the idea of like, whoa, I can go on and there's my friends are here and I can play with them and talk to them.
I remember that being
It's
fucking
everything now.
mind-blowing at the time.
That was such magic.
I remember playing, I think, Lost Planet or something on Xbox Live for like the first time, being like, these are other people.
What the hell? This is a real guy and I can say hi?
That was a mind fucking blowing thing
to
happen. And now it's like that's
so
everything.
cool.
Like your phone has games that do that,
More games have that than not, really. Like,
that is true.
Yeah, I
most developers prioritize that.
Yeah, 100%. Like I would argue Fortnite is that now. Like Fortnite is the place where you can go to Fortnite because Fortnite is a place to go now.
Yeah.
Like as fun as it is to like fucking meme about it or whatever, that is a fucking amazing video game. I wouldn't have said that in the beginning. I wouldn't have said that in the beginning because in the beginning it was like, it's whatever. It's fine. Yeah. But now it's like this is what Ready Player One is basically. It's not VR, but I mean, people are running around as their fucking favorite. Like, why is Zendaya in
Valentine?
The only thing
with Nimbus.
The only thing with Fortnite to me is it's like reliant and like ingeniously so. It's reliant on so many other amalgamations of like media and shit like that to really catch the widest net it possibly can. Whereas Halo was I think that the way that Bungie interfaced with its community from Halo 2 through Halo Reach is something. It is one of like the most beautiful things in the history of fucking media and like technology. Like doing like 7-on-7s and achievement hunter shit and like only being able to unlock specific armor if on this one day you beat this firefight achievement on a different game on Halo 3 ODST. Like,
yeah, it was cool.
And the file share and the custom games and like Rooster Teeth exists because they invented Griffball as a custom game, and then Bungie adopted that into their it's literally like in matchmaking. Like that kind of shit is to me unparalleled. To like that is genius, whereas Fortnite is ingenious. Like that is ingenuity, whereas Fortnite is like they just have capital. And it's both dope.
Yeah.
I don't hate on Fortnite at all, but Bungie just like not even to suck them off, but like they created a space that was unimaginable before that.
Yeah, and I think they did it purely by accident in a lot of ways. Like I don't think.
Yeah.
Like even Forge wasn't supposed to be like a map thing. You know, like it was just like put a fucking. Take the sniper out of this if you want. You know, like that's what it was for.
Yeah.
So
Make
like
some hentai if you want. Like, I don't know.
But community upholds games like this. It's the only reason they exist past their, like.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I know a lot of what made 3 so fucking unique, and even Reach, to a lesser extent, but still.
Yeah.
So special is no longer applicable, and it doesn't really like. There's not a lot that 343 can really do about that because the landscape of everything is so different. So what they need to do is just put out a good fucking game.
Yeah.
And one that's finished. You know what I mean?
Fuck
one
yeah.
that's like,
Yeah.
oh hey, it has all the things you remember and like maybe another thing. And then that's all they really need to do, but they didn't do that. So I don't know. I am not still chasing that 3 high. You know what I mean? Like I think that's an impeccably designed video game, and I'm glad that there are elements of it in this new one that feel a lot more rooted from that. That's cool. But I don't know if I'm expecting ever again to see this series go even approach even a slight modicum of the stratosphere that it once made its home.
I think
now it's just
the internet just doesn't exist like that anymore. It's just like there are so many niches, but in a way, like the internet back then was a niche in and of itself, whereas now it's kind of the.
Yeah, dude. I used to go to the internet to escape the real world. Now I do the opposite. Now I'm like, oh, I gotta go outside. I gotta go fucking. I gotta go do shit. Just to fucking get away from Twitter or whatever. And it's just it's a different beast, and that's fine. I'm just thankful that I got to fucking be there for that because that was such a unique time.
But that's part of the reason why I want it back. Not even for me, dude. I'm 24 going on 25. I have a full-time job now. Like, my life fucking sucks. That is how it is to be. But I want an 11-year-old to get on fucking Halo and call someone a fucking okay for the first time and feel pleasure. I want them to feel pleasure.
Yeah, but they have their own version of that. You know what I mean? It's
kind of got their own slurs now.
It's like the people before us had WoW, and the people before them had fucking, they had EverQuest or whatever. They had and even older than that, people just like fucking even just the simple things that I remember when I was a kid, like trading Pokemon physically on the Game Boy. That was like a special. That's a special moment in time. But that's not recapturable because the reason why those things are special is because we were kids. We had no responsibilities at all.
Yeah. So you had time to experience all of that.
I think the way that we're iterating upon it though is different in a sense where, like,
it's definitely
the
worse.
Internet hasn't reshaped things. Nothing has reshaped society like the full-fledged adoption of the internet and the social media machine has, right? Like society is not the same that it was. Society, the Joker is not the same as it was 10 years ago. This shit is cooked. But like for instance, like YouTube to TikTok. TikTok, there's wonderful stuff on TikTok. TikTok is really easy to get a start on. Like, it has given comedic geniuses, like their first steps into like creating a media career. But also people get a million hearts and like so much praise for just putting like I'll see you
Spreading their
again,
butt cheeks.
Fast and Furious 7 under like SpongeBob quitting the Krusty Krab. Like, at a certain point, we got to a point where I think stuff is getting, not even Fortnite. Like, I don't think Fortnite, but like, we're getting to a point where stuff is like watering down. I feel like where it's not just like, kids are kids and kids, like I watched Blue's Clues when I was a baby. Now people watch Russian YouTube animation.
Lively.
While I don't think it's like turning them into demons, it's like,
it is.
Looking back on YouTube Cocomelon Russian Badger animation is not like you won't be able to look back on it on the same pretense as like looking back on Bear in the Big Blue House or
Probably
Blue's
not.
Clues or
But,
Dora.
the way I feel about that is genuinely is like that sucks for them.
Yeah,
because it's just
Rip
it's
Bozo.
just
chalk it up to that.
because the genie's out of the bottle. You know what I mean? Like you can't undo what social media is and what it's doing.
100%. Yeah,
it is
unless we suffer a huge catastrophic failure and a massive cultural reset and we go back to dial-up. I think that's honestly the only way we could. Let's do that. Let's do that. Put a pin in
Chris,
that.
your
Let's
war
do
on
that.
Spectrum could be the beginning of that.
Bring it. Tear everyone down with you.
I'll save you. Don't worry.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris.
You know what? Like, really fucking fucks my ass. Speaking of that, I basically probably shouldn't introduce it like that. But whenever you go to like a restaurant and you see like a family with a kid and the kid's just on an iPad, and you're like, man, this sucks. It's like, look, I don't have a kid. I get it. They're very annoying, and that you have to keep them entertained. But I feel like I learned a lot of my ability to talk to people by being forced to talk to people when my mum or dad would take me out to dinner, to a restaurant. And I feel like by just throwing, like jingling keys in front of them 24/7. I don't know. Maybe
I think that's the difference with our generation is like, I look at them like they have obviously no control over it. No matter how they could be 15 and playing Fortnite, like whatever. Like I look at them more so pitiful than like the boomer like wagging his finger.
No,
some people try to hit
same.
me with that when I talk about, but it's like, bro, I'm 24. Like I can't be the boomer wagging my finger yet, bro. I'm still my brain didn't fully develop yet.
That's what I mean, though. It's like these are becoming. When I was talking about decades and the identity of everything becoming truncated, that's happening with generations as well.
Exactly.
Where like I think, I don't know, somebody born in like the 1880s versus the 1860s probably had a lot more in common with each other than even people who were born maybe even just within 10 years of each other.
Yeah,
Not
you had a
necessarily,
snake in your
not necessarily in a way that's alienating or like particularly like that different. But in such a way that there's a big difference between coming into the internet and always having it around. Like that's a massive.
Yeah. That's insane.
Like when I was in school, because my high school years were 2007 to 2011. So I remember not having a phone.
Me too.
I remember not having a cell phone, then getting a cell phone, then that cell phone becoming a fucking powerful supercomputer that I could get all the within
that was a cool jump.
Within 4 years. I remember this. Like in ninth grade, freshman year, no one fucking had a phone. Like there was like maybe like a couple friends of mine had like flip phones that they could text on and call.
Most people had PSPs. I remember most people had PSPs.
Or like video games.
DS
really good DS. DS with
but
most
but most people had. Yeah, and by the end, by graduation, everybody had an iPhone, everybody had a Droid, or everybody had like a fucking Verizon Voyager, whatever the fuck phone was out at that point. Sidekick. But like you could, I remember teachers not having any idea how to deal with it. I cheated on so many tests in senior year. It's insane because they didn't understand that I could just Google things.
So you could just Google it.
I got so pissed off when we transitioned to smartphones because I was perfectly good at touch typing on my flip phone. Like I could type out entire messages and send it without looking at my phone. I literally just had to glance down for 1 second to see what the fucking chick messaged me. and be like, okay, sick, and I'd text back the whole thing, and it would be perfect every time. But you can't do that with a touch phone because there's no tactility to it. So I'd like try and pocket type, and it would just be gibberish.
You like send out like some MK Ultra.
I think I don't know. I definitely think there's some concerning shit about the way the internet works and how it affects people. I even think that's true for us as
absolutely
more millennials or even like older Gen Z. I think it's I definitely notice. I definitely I feel like I could tell the type of person I would be without this. And it's probably a better 100%. One.
Yeah. But would that one have $302?
Yeah, exactly. But I do think it's like
true.
I don't know, like I don't look at it. I don't know. It's such an old person thing to look at younger generations and not understand them. I think I get it because I can see what's happening and I can relate how it affected me.
You know the thought.
And I remember.
Yeah, it's just like TikTok.
Yeah, I remember.
Like, I know what's happening with TikTok, but I just don't care.
Right.
I think it's stupid.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But,
and even my critique of like the kids with the iPad, that's not the kids' fault. That's like. The people having kids, which is pretty much starting to be our generation. Yeah. It's like older millennials and like I guess Gen X or whatever. So but
also the people in the 80s would have done that too. Like it's exactly. If they had that same thing, I think people like if they had access to the same shit, they would do the same shit because that's what they did.
Yeah,
they literally in the 80s they would just be fucking I don't know, go outside, look at birds or something. And then a bunch of kids were getting fucking murdered in the street. They're like, maybe we shouldn't do that. Come inside, watch TV. And then it was TV, and then it was like, here's a fucking video game. Although I do think like the video game shit was weird because I still think to this day that there's no video game more damaging than just the premise of social media as a whole.
Like that's what I'm saying.
I don't think there is a single even that guy who shit himself and died playing World of Warcraft.
That was me.
Yeah. Like to me, it's like all right, you can find like maybe a handful of people who are like wildly negatively affected by this, but like your video game, you have to go do that. I'm not really a mobile game person. I'm not really like somebody. I don't have like a Steam Deck or like even when I play my Switch, I usually just play it in bed. I don't take it out on me like on the town like a psycho.
So.
But like,
so I'm gonna go play Mario at my Starbucks.
So video games to me are like you have to be home to do that.
Yeah.
The social media follows you. You do that in your car. So people do that while they're fucking driving. People do it to make content, to consume content, to make money, to lose money, and it's like. There's a way, way, way different thing going on with video games versus social media, and yet no one really complains about social media because everybody is universally addicted to it.
That's what I'm saying. See, like I have that's what I harbor no ill will toward the younger generation. If anything, all I want is for them to have what I had, where like I did not use the internet outside of Xbox Live until 2012. Like nothing mattered to me but Xbox Live. Xbox Live is why I exist the way I do currently. Like having to face a 17-year-old as an 11-year-old with the year of my birth in my name, so I'm immediately a squeaking fucking bitch. Like to still have to try and fight to just make fun of them, even though I'm so handicapped already. Like that was a beautiful experience for me that turned me into.
Hold on your controller, little boy?
But like now, like Halo, literally, I'm fucking 24. I edit for a living. Like I fix my computer. I don't know how to turn voice chat on in Halo. I do everything. I change all. It doesn't work.
It doesn't matter because no one's on it.
No, exactly. And like
because everyone's on
it.
No, but they're not going to because they're listening to their Spotify or they're like in Discord.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm doing that too.
And
like,
I'm doing it too.
I would definitely rather listen to like a fucking Devin Townsend album while I'm fucking playing Halo and like maybe like fucking around with my friends than just hear some 12-year-old be like, "Hey, fucking, you get the rocket." Like
that's a beautiful metaphor, though. That's a beautiful metaphor. It's what you want, what you desire versus what you need.
Yeah, but we didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice. We didn't have a choice before, so it was like we had to learn to love it.
Yeah.
It's
but that learning to
cool.
love it shaped us.
Right.
Chris Raygun wouldn't be Chris Raygun cool. without Xbox Live.
There's
so I'm actually making a. Go ahead. Sorry.
really quick off that point, there's a really fantastic video by Josh Dreyfus, friend of the show.
Shout out.
He primarily does MMO content, but he did a really interesting video about like how difficulty creates memories, but most companies these days aren't going to pursue that because it's going to limit the amount of people who actually engage with a game. Yeah. So you're going to cast a wider net, but no one's going to fucking remember the game. Like they're going to get bored of it really, not get bored of it fast, but they'll play it more than if they encountered a difficult situation that they had to overcome by teamwork or whatever.
They know that. They know how much money there is to be made now, and that is kind of because before it's like video games were like there was a lot of money made. Like Halo 2 and 3 were huge successes.
Like $6,
but they're not like, but they weren't like Fortnite where it's like, okay, we made $1 billion today on skins.
Yeah. What did Genshin Impact made? Genshin made like $4 billion last year on mobile alone.
The game is way bigger now, and because of that. There are people who are a little bit more weary of making things that can't do that.
Are fun,
monetizing the same function.
But I actually think there are a lot of developers who are probably because they were around before this who are actually doing a great job, and even ones that you really don't think of. Like I honestly still think Bungie's killing it. Like they fucked up for a really long time.
Dude, Destiny 2, where it's at right
now,
man.
Difficult. Destiny is not an approachable game really at all.
Yeah,
it is, and that's to its detriment sometimes. But like the fact that there is that detriment there, the fact that like there are people who are like, oh, that's a lot for me. Like, oh, I can't get a group of people together to do a 7-hour raid. I think that's fine. I think that's great actually, because that means because that means you have something that is unique and will stick out in people's.
So
I still remember the first time like I finished like the Vault of Glass on D1, and it was like fucking euphoric, like crazy. Like this is a great experience. Whereas there's a lot of other approachable games that I've played in the last like several years that I do not fucking recall at all.
Yeah,
I've beaten them. Even some of them even twice. But like I don't fucking. Prey is another great example. I don't know if you guys have played Prey 2017. If you guys play games,
I really wanted to. It's on my list.
Prey 2017 is such a cumbersome video game, and that sounds like a detriment, but it really is. It does not hold your hand at all. It is very obtuse. There's a lot of systems there, and I must have tried that game at least 3 times, and like I didn't like it the first 3 times I played it, and then for whatever reason, like in the last like year or two, I picked it up again. I think it was after I played like a System Shock demo on stream. And I picked it up and I played it, and it just clicked in this way that it's like,
this is all you need.
Oh, I get it. And it's like, and the second it starts clicking, like all of that, it's still obtuse and it's still difficult to kind of wrap your head around. It does require effort out of you. Yeah. But that is one of the most incredible fucking video games I have ever played. I'm still not done with it because I'm trying to like savor it. But that is a BioShock tier fucking like standout. Video game in a lot of ways.
That's a thing that I think both of you, Kudos and Chris, have said that I subscribe to a lot, and it's a point that I tried to make. I made a video last year about algorithms. If you watch me, you understand. But
Courtney, put the whole video right here.
Let it play in a GIF format. One of my points that I don't think I really nailed, I wasn't like prepared to nail home the way that I wanted to, was like that.
Oh, it's the one about women's rights to vote. Right?
Yeah, no, I think women's suffrage was a net negative on society. But right after that, I talked about like I think that evolutionarily, I don't even know if that's a word. Our brains, I know words. Our brain is fucking coded to want to remember negative things. Or things of annoyance, things that are irritable,
discomfort.
Because they will help you navigate that irritability or that discomfort in the future. So, like, the difference between sitting there for 30 minutes and trying to figure out what I want to watch on Netflix, and when my hamburger get cold, versus driving to Blockbuster, and which is now a perceived, annoyance that I have to get in my car, I have to drive to Blockbuster, I have to walk around, I have to talk to a clerk, But that, You might on your drive to Blockbuster, you might see someone crash into a fucking 18-wheeler and that's full of gas and explode, and it's like, what the fuck? That was epic. Or you might go into Blockbuster and there's
that was epic. A family of 4 dead on a mainline highway. That was
this is great podcast material.
Outside of Milwaukee.
Or you walk into Blockbuster and the clerk is fucking, chewing on a stick and like thinks they're a deer or something. Like that is kind of the magic. And in video games, the same thing. Like Elden Ring, I'm not even a big Soulsborne person, genuinely. But Elden Ring is one of the most memorable games I've played in years.
Easily,
I play fucking. I'm a gamer through and through.
I'll go a step further than you and say I genuinely don't even like Dark Souls at all. I don't care for it at all. I like Sekiro. For whatever reason, I think it's just because like the theme and jumping. I need a jump button in my video games. I don't know why.
Yeah,
but
I think the jump button plays a massive role in everything because it's that approachability, and I think that's why Elden Ring slapped so fucking hard. Because I feel like I've tried pretty much every Souls-like game, but after I finished Elden Ring, I had like the most fucking massive hard-on towards Souls-like games just out of nowhere. I went and I beat Demon Souls. I made a whole video on Elden Ring, which I never thought I would make a video on a Soulsborne game.
Yeah.
It was just like
Elden Ring is.
I totally get what you mean. It's like
it's phenomenal because it's like approachable in the right ways. It's like, hey, we're gonna allow you to play this game in whatever fucking way you want, but it's also going to be fucking dense and like. Elden Ring is astonishing to me.
Like, when you think you figured it out, fuck you.
I don't know how they managed to make something so fucking dense. Like, because I've open world games is like it's cool to see like the world spread out in front. Like Breath of the Wild. Like I remember like that was great. I didn't finish Breath of the Wild, but like it kept my attention for longer than I expected it to.
Yeah.
And oh wow, it's sprawling and it opens forever and it goes on for miles and miles. That's cool. And then you play Elden Ring and you see the same thing. It's like, okay, yeah, I've seen this before. And then you go underground and there's a sky underground, and you're like, what? And then it keeps, and then you open a chest and then you end up like fucking way far, and then you think, oh, that must be the boundaries of the map because it's so insanely far away, and then it's not, and Elden Ring's fucking amazing. I know it's not like a fucking unique opinion.
Hot take here,
boys.
Should we do
tables? Yes, I was going to say, should we read a big fat table together?
Chapter 10.
Why are you here?
Screamed Tails with the anger of a million angry birds. Sonic was shocked because Tails was his best friend, and Tails was smart. But Tails was super pissed at Sonic for not coming to the science competition, even though they were best friends. Sonic moved his mouth, but words didn't come out because he didn't know what to say. Sonic was a mixture of mad and sad and frustrating because he did not know what he could do to get Tails to be his friend again. At times like this, Sonic thought about Amy's fine body because it set his mind at ease.
I am here for my friend, our friend, Espio. We are still friends too, Tails. You were just too mad to see that.
I know what I see. I am so smart,
said Tails, kind of screaming. Espio tried to get in between them, even though it was his house that they were in right now, and said,
yeah, guys, please, let's just make sure I can fight Knuckles and not get home.
Sonic and Knuckles ignored him for the moment and continued to be in a fuss.
I am sorry, bro. I don't understand. What can I do to make our friendship the best one ever once again?
Said Sonic to Tails. Tails wiggled his two tails and looked to the side in a thinking way.
I don't know, but you know what? Here, take this.
Tails took out a blue book from a spot and threw it on the ground in front of Sonic. It was what it was when Sonic looked at it. It was Sonic's journal.
What? How did you get this?
Said Sonic to Tails.
I gave this to Miss Lesson before she read about my balls problems. I lied. I did not go to the science competition that night. I still went to school, but instead of going to the science competition, I used my science hat of invisibility to sneak into Mrs. Lesson's room and get your journal. I wanted to get your journal so that no one else could read your business and see your gay ball problems that I know you still have, even though you think you are getting better. I was going to give it back to you, but you were not there at the competition like you should have been, even though I am such a good friend to you. Even now, when I could have been reaching my moment of genius, I was doing a thing for you because I want you to be happy.
Tails said to Sonic with a voice of emotion. Sonic did not know what to say. High school drama was so insane to be a part of. Sonic picked up his journal and felt like he was going to cry because he was being an asshole jerk to his best friend, who was only trying to make him happy.
Tails, you did not have to do this. Finally,
said Sonic, respondingly.
That is me right now.
I mean, how would you say it?
Respondingly. What matters is that I did. And also that you did not care for my special day because you were too busy trying to be true boyfriend and girlfriend with Amy. Goodbye, Sonic.
Said Tails right before he flew out Espio's bedroom window with his flying tails, and then he did.
They do that. They do that.
What can you say? Then he did.
Yeah, this is so shitty.
Said Espio to Sonic, who was now the only other person in his bedroom.
Yeah, I still have to fight Knuckles tomorrow, but your different kind of fight with Tails is just as crazy. Holmes.
That is for me to figure out with Tails. Let's get back to making sure you cannot be defeated by Knuckles.
Sonic and Espio spent all night in Espio's bedroom reading books and watching videos about fighting and learning how to be the best at it. By the time the night was over, Espio was ready to face Knuckles. That's so quick. They went to school on this new day, and school happened. Wait, what? Wait. Whoa. That was like a flashback.
They do a really beautiful job of world building, and we've found out. Transitions are immaculate.
They went to school on this new day, and school happened, and it was over, and now they were in the hall where Knuckles said to meet him to fight. There was a crowd of people around him that included Sonic, who looked worried, Rouge, who looked worried and with her baby, and Vector, who was smiling. Also in the crowd was Tails, and with him Cream the Rabbit, who was Charmy Bee's girlfriend. Cream was a little woman and pretty smart, but not as smart as Tails. Obviously, it's a woman. Her boobs were smaller than both Amy's.
Her boobs and brain.
Her boobs were smaller than both Amy's and Rouge's, but they were still high quality in their own way. It is surprising to most people that a gay like Charmy was even allowed to have a girlfriend, but it just goes to show you that the impossible is not what you think it is. Then Espio jumped over the crowd into the middle where Knuckles was. There's a real sense of place.
Yeah. You know exactly where everyone is at all times.
So you decided to come anyway, even though you know your ass is going to be torn up by my moves?
Me when I'm having sex.
Yeah, I do not want to fight you, Knuckles, but I'm doing this for Charmy and Rouge. I'm doing this for Charmy because you kidnapped him, and for Rouge because you do not respect her baby.
Then let's do this.
Knuckles charged at Espio with his fists like an elephant, running at a hunter trying to kill him for his powers. But Espio jumped out of the way and onto the wall like a pro jumper, which he learned how to do last night. Espio jumped at Knuckles with a kick move, and Knuckles punched at his foot, and they met with a purple and red explosion of power that knocked them both back. They continued to jump around and attack each other, and they did this for a while. It was difficult to watch for everyone. Rouge was in the crowd with her baby. I love that. That's again said.
Multiple times it is established. This is so difficult to watch. Violence should not be a solution to conflict.
Said Rouge's baby, I guess, peeking out between its hands.
You are right. Why do people do this like this? What? I hate it.
Said Rouge to Rouge's baby. Rouge had become a different person since she had a baby. She used to be only sexy, but now Rouge was sexy and matronly.
She got that MILF energy.
How the fuck does he know that word?
Yeah, that should not be in their vocabulary.
I know.
Yes, fuck this evil world.
Said Rouge's baby. Rouge then revealed her boob to her baby and had him eat from it as a baby would do. Rouge's baby thought this was the best part about being a baby, because not everyone would get cool boobs like this delivered to them on their doorstep like a milkman.
Facts.
He's spitting.
Babies did not have much to worry about anyway, so Rouge's ace boobs made paradise a reality for babies.
Them ace boobs right there.
Primo.
boobs. I I have a feeling you should lie down and relax.
So Rouge lied down on her back, and the fight continued to go on. Knuckles and Espio were both bloody and gross looking, like two waiters who were holding messy foods and then walked into each other, causing the meals to launch into the air and fall down on them and ruin the nice clothes they got from the store. They were breathing real hard and were tired, but kept going, jumping and kicking and punching and running. It looked like two people doing a dance, but hitting each other also. Knuckles kicked his feet out at Espio, but Espio jumped up and dodged them and came back down and hit Knuckles in the mouth and knocked him onto the floor/ground.
You choose.
Thank God.
Holy
Choose your own
shit.
adventure.
I really, when I picked this character's voice, I did not know he was going to be like the main character of this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Is this enough yet? Are we done?
Shouted Espio to Knuckles.
How will this ever end?
Knuckles looked up from the ground at Espio standing over him. Knuckles had a twinkle in his eye as he looked up at Espio and crawled towards him. Espio did not do anything but watch him and feel dangerous.
Come closer,
said Knuckles in a whisper voice, so Espio bent down and put his face to Knuckles's. Knuckles looked up and down Espio's sweaty purple body and onto his eyes and said,
I respect you.
And then grabbed his face as gentle as a deer and kissed him on the mouth.
Yo!
When Knuckles kissed him, he did it extra hard, sometimes with his eyes shut and sometimes looking deep into Espio's deep yellow eyes that looked like a circus of loving men. Their tongues met in the middle of their mouths like two chicken cutlets that were acting like cats that loved each other. That is fucking
That's such a good description.
That is, you know what's funny about that? That is actually really amazing writing.
Yeah, that's
like, I see that. I vividly see that. I have to read that
my
again.
My mom ain't never made no two chicken cutlets that look like
their tongues met in the middle of their mouths, like two chicken cutlets that were acting like cats that loved each other. When Espio was watching fighting videos last night, he was not expecting he was going to have to do kissing too, but he liked it.
They wasn't in the manual.
Yeah, what the fuck? They went on kissing for a full minute while everyone watched, wondering if they were done fighting or just taking a break to kiss. Finally, the back part of Knuckles' body began to lift off the ground while his mouth was still making out with Espio. Eventually, the power became so strong that his mouth was removed from Espio, and their spit was like a shiny extension cord that connected an appliance to a wall outlet.
Yeah.
Knuckles began to glow while floating in the air, and the whole place became a little windy. On the side, Tails said to Cream,
I'm imagining like a Snow White fucking animation where like the guy he smells an apple pie on the windowsill and is just like floating away.
Yeah, he's lifting.
It's like me.
Yeah. Wow, I know what this is. This is a rare moment of science we will never see probably again in a lifetime or ever. It is called body donation, and it was invented by Einstein.
Oh, that's what that was. I read that as Einstein.
I thought it was like
Einstein.
I thought it was a Sonic character. I didn't know. I was like,
Einstein's laws of homosexuality, body donation.
It is when someone reaches a moment of such powerful love that they can choose to restart their lives as part of the person they love. Einstein invented this by making his wife love him so much one night during a romance pasta dinner that she became a baby that was like him. But then he killed his wife, the baby, because he thought it was too dangerous to have her live on in the world without testing in a laboratory first. It is a fact that if it looks like magic, it is not magic. It is science. So deal with it, liberal.
Deal with it,
libtard.
Bazinga!
Well, see who cancels who.
Knuckles glided on the wind forward through the crowd of people in front of him and into Rouge's mouth, where he disappeared into.
Yo.
It was a good thing Rouge's baby had premonitions and told her to lie down. As then Knuckles did a U-turn in Rouge's sex-filled body and came out of her butt as a newborn baby that looked like Espio. This was all science.
This cannot be prophetic baby. Is that what just like happened? There's just like this baby has the gift of prophecy.
Yeah,
she came out of her butt.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
As is, you know,
and it was all science.
It's science, man.
Yeah, this was all science.
It says right there, it's science. I don't know what the,
Yeah.
Chapter 11.
That baby is Espio's.
Tails, being smart, was right. Tails had done an Einstein body donation and became Espio and Rouge's baby. But it was still Knuckles. Knuckles picked the baby up and held him in her other arm because her baby with Knuckles before he became baby was in her other arm. Now
This is now you have 2 babies to look after. Good luck.
Said Tails.
Idiot. What a dad.
That's
What a
hilarious,
beautiful
by the way.
dad.
Sonic was on the other side of the hall and wished that Tails was talking to him. But Tails was still mad at him, so he was not. Rouge grabbed her 2 babies and had them both eat from her terrific boobs. She smiled and felt like a mother, and Sonic thought. Sonic said... what was...
He just genuinely had a thing.
He just thought. Just generally
for a minute.
Sonic said what he was thinking and said...
Rouge, you should name your babies. It will be hard to tell them apart if you do not.
Rouge thought that this was... Rouge thought that this thought was good. Rouge went over to Espio, who was sitting on the ground looking bad and tired from fighting Knuckles before he became Espio's baby.
Hey, Espio, what should we name our baby that looks like you?
Said Rouge to Espio.
Yeah, it's still Knuckles according to Tails, so we should keep his name Knuckles.
Knuckles
Okay,
too.
and I will name my baby with Knuckles before he became a baby Knuckles Jr. because I had him with Knuckles before he became a baby, and he looks like Knuckles before he became a baby.
What?
Do you follow?
Can we put a beat behind that?
Rouge was happy and walked out of the hall and then out of the school like a bat. And then Espio did the same thing, but in a way that was like a chameleon would instead.
There is one thing that everyone is forgetting. Charmy B is still locked up at Knuckles' house. I will go rescue him.
Sonic ran out of the school and to Knuckles' house. Sonic ran into Knuckles' mom on the way to his room in his house.
Knuckles' mom? Something's happened and Knuckles looks different. It will be okay, and you will understand soon enough. Please do not worry.
He's a baby now. You'll understand in
Look,
due time.
Knuckles'
Do not
mom.
worry.
Sonic said this in such a way that Knuckles' mom smiled and kept cooking in the kitchen. Sonic was not just fast, but also very good at revealing people.
Relieving.
Relieving?
Let's go.
Is that what that fucking says? Why have I never seen
Relieving
that? I guess I've
people.
never seen that word written. Relieving.
You've learned to
Especially
learn
not in
from
that context.
Sonic High School. How does that feel?
Hey, look at that,
Yeah.
man. You learn new things every day.
He made Knuckles' mom.
I guess the
There we
thing is
go.
I thought that's what it was, but I was like, there's no way he would spell that right. So it must be
Yeah, you
something
can't
else.
trust him. Yeah, the I before E except after C. Like, you can't trust him
Yeah.
with that shit.
Sonic also noticed that Knuckles' mom was kind of hot, with solid boobs
Hell yeah.
that she had developed for decades.
I've
Sonic,
been working on
the
these
fuck
puppies.
out.
boys.
I've been in the studio.
Sonic went upstairs to Knuckles' room, which was painted all red, just like Knuckles before he became a baby. There was a cage in the corner of the room, and Charmy Bee was in it. Sonic unlocked the cage with the key on Knuckles' desk and opened the cage.
Come on out, Charmy B. You are rescued.
Charmy walked out instead of flying out, like he always does, and said,
Thanks, Sonic. I'm going to go home and prepare for my role in the play that is soon. I am the lead role.
The next day of school happened, and Tails was in class with Cream. It was a very difficult science class because Tails was the smartest person in the school, and he only took the hardest classes. Cream was in the class because she wanted to be mentally challenged.
I don't think he used that right.
That's awesome.
That
though.
is what you say when you're in the.
That's like a fucking good joke.
That's a
That is a
bar.
Yeah, he's
genuinely funny
reclaiming.
bit.
Yeah.
He's reclaiming
Yeah.
what mentally challenged means.
Exactly. She wanted to be challenged mentally.
Yeah.
That's like always.
kind of a
That's like
bar.
always Sunny in Philadelphia, or like that's like I can see that. That's like
Yeah.
a genuine writer's joke.
We have a test in this class tomorrow. It is going to be hard, and I have to study for it to make sure I get a good grade.
Tails always got good grades, but studied anyway. Tails looked at Cream, who was there. Me too! I know! I have an idea! Why don't you come over to my house tonight and we can study? Studying with you will help me get a better grade. I just know it.
She British Bill Cosby.
It's Stewie.
Said Cream to Tails.
Stewie.
This idea was the best thing ever to Tails. Tails secretly had a crush on Cream and wanted to feel the body of his sexy friend, always, even though she was Charmy B's girlfriend. Cream was a different kind of sexy. That was only really sexy to some people. But Tails was one of them.
Okay.
What can I say? Okay, I will come to your house tonight.
It was now this evening, and Tails was getting ready to go to Cream's house. Tails was excited to get closer to Cream, but he was also nervous he might mess it up like a love idiot. He thought about asking Sonic, but then remembered he is pissed at him. Then he thought about asking Espio, but Espio was at the hospital getting all of his wounds fixed from being in a fight with Knuckles before he became a baby.
This is what fucking Metal Gear Solid plot sounds like to me. This is why I could never get into these games. It just feels like this.
As much as I love Metal Gear Solid, I understand. Tails wanted to seem like a sexy man to Cream, so he sprayed his dad's colon on himself and put breath wash in his mouth. Tails smelled good and looked good and went to Cream's house by flying.
I don't think we've read a single fanfic that has cologne in it and they haven't spelt it colon.
Oh, yeah. Nobody knows how to spell it.
Every single one, they spell it colon.
In fairness, cologne is a fucking stupid way to spell colon.
Oh, it's a stupid word. So
I understand.
I concur.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Tails, said Cream, as she sat on her bed in her bedroom studying without Tails. Tails flew into the window.
Sir, a second tail has hit the window.
Fuck you, Gumby. Mr. President. Hi, Cream. I am at your house now. Let's study.
Tails sat on her bed, sort of next to her, but not too close to promote sex thoughts, said Tails.
Dude, that is literally being in youth group, like at church. Like, don't sit too close to the women to promote sex thoughts.
Don't promote sex thoughts.
Joke's on you, Pastor. I've got them anyway.
Wow. Before we study, you smell good, Tails. Cream put her face right up against Tails. It smelled hard. Tails and Cream studied for the test for the next hour. And the whole time, Tails could only concentrate on one thing, his growing erection. Tails touched it, and Tails touched it sometimes while they were studying to make sure it stayed put. And Cream could not see it. But it was getting so big that it would pop out of place, like when the straw in your soda rises up, probably because of the bubbles, and you push it back down, but it just comes back up anyway, so you get iced tea instead.
He doesn't even know the science.
That is so fucking specific.
He doesn't even know the science. He's just like, hey, maybe.
I don't even slightly relate to that experience because I never,
me neither.
Like I don't even know. Like I guess I don't drink soda though. So I guess this probably Tails was still the most nervous, but he decided that this was his chance. He would not get another chance as good as this if he did not take it now.
Cream, I have to tell you something.
Screamed Tails to Cream, letting out all of his nervousness so he could be smooth like a movie star. What is it, Tails? Tell me all about it, said Cream, back looking hot. Tails was not so nervous anymore. Tails said,
Cream, I have lusted after your rabbit genitals since day one. I think you are the hottest woman I have ever been to. I know you are Charmy's girlfriend, but toss him aside and let my penis murder everything inside of you.
Jesus.
Well, Tails.
I'm going to use that now.
It's good. Yeah. Tails took out his penis. And he was so in love that his penis was literally screaming.
Who wants to be? Can
you give us
a penis?
That's insane.
Yes, there it is.
Oh my God!
Working.
Wow! I did not know you felt this way, but I'm glad you do because Charmy B is a total gay. Cream reached over and grabbed Tails' penis and began to give it a good shake. She flubbed his boner with her hands and pulled him around the room by his penis like he was a wagon to get him more excited. Tails' penis was so big that it was about to burst like someone stepping on a tube of Colgate toothpaste. Tails could feel the semen bubbling up inside his penis like Santa going back up the chimney when he was done. And the presents he had left down in the house were Tails' balls, which were already there, though. Cream was getting hot, too. She did not take off her clothes, but Tails could tell she also had an erection.
His balls were already there, though.
His balls were already there, though. Just when things were becoming like one of those porns that Sonic had in his room and his mom let him have, Cream stopped and said, "No! I cannot do this! Not while I am still boyfriend and girlfriend with Charmy. He may be a yes, but we are in a relationship, and I need to respect him. I will break up with him tomorrow, and then we can do sex." I like how that's respecting.
Yeah.
Cream collected her things together. I think I am ready for the test tomorrow. Thanks, Tails.
Oh, man.
Said Tails, putting his scrotum away. And was sad about not getting to ejaculate his dick.
Okay, As long as you promise me your sex.
I promise, said Cream. And then Cream kissed Tails on the cheek. Tails thought it was cool and flew back home.
Hey!
We did it.
Thank you, Chris. That was wonderful.
That was fantastic, Chris.
So fucking ridiculous.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh my god.
That was fucking great.
Beautiful performance.
Chris,
We appreciate it. We know you got stuff to do.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for so much for coming by, man.
I think we've all collectively watched you for a long time, and it was a really cool experience. So appreciate you.
Oh, no, I appreciate that, guys. It was fun.
Of course.
They just added YouTube handles, so now like you can go to like I think youtube.com/@chrisraygun, and you can do that now, and it works.
Do that.
Yeah.
Go there.
I couldn't nail down Doplex. Somebody else got it.
Yeah, I'm like
Doplex
James Miller, fucking 38. So
I'm like Andrew Miller, YT, which is always super.
The old white.
That's an old school fucking. I love that.
Yeah, either YT or TV.
should add productions at the end of it.
Andrew
Miller
Productions. Hey, fuck you guys. I got mini kudos. I'm good. I'm set.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I also got Chris Raygun. Anyway, thank you for coming on. Fuck you. Yeah, whatever. Bye.
Yeah, there's an edit cut somewhere.
yeah, can already figure it out.